This is gonna be awesome, I'll tell you that. I've played DRG for a long time. Hopefully the music's not too loud. I have it turned down, but you know, I'm listening on a headset, so for me it's like a lot louder. So definitely let me know. Alright. Uh, Give me one moment and we'll swap over. Actually, I don't mind. I can go ahead and swap over to it while we're just chilling. So, welcome to the mass amount of overclocks we've got to do. There's a lot of them. So, this is every 160 overclocks are in the game for weapons. Every one of them. Took me a while to be able to get the files for these. I have a dedicated folder to just the overclocks now because it's easier to organize them that way. But yeah, we have a lot of overclocks here. Now, I don't know how I wanted to do the ranking. I kind of did this. I was going to wait till some people hop in here and kind of see how it is, you know? Because my ranking of it is going to be a lot different than most people. Because some of these overclocks I've used for a very long time, and I know they're just good. And then there are some that are just clean overclocks that are just good, you know? Like, a lot of these are going to be pretty good. And a good chunk of them are going to be situation based too. That's how I'm going to put it. Because there's going to be all types of them. And I definitely think a lot of these are probably going to be situational based. And a lot of them are going to be team based. Oh boy. We have a lot to go through. I like this. Look at this. There's honestly a pretty even amount of everything. Hey, what happened to the music? Give me one moment. Stream's still going. Let me see what's going on with the music. I also have in the background, just in case I forget what some of these overclocks do, I have the wiki up. Granted, I should just about know like all of these overclocks, but there's, you know, some differences, and there's some I just flat out don't use because I don't enjoy them anymore. Or, you know, I find them too situational. A lot of what I use is going to be a mix of works in every scenario or is just reliable, you know. But we've got a lot to go through. So, where should I start? I guess we're going to start with try and skim through and get all of these clean overclocks out and about. So the first one's going to be combat mobility for gunner. This is for the Thunderhead. It adds, what do you call it? Fire rate growth. So your fire rate will increase faster. And it adds less slowdown while shooting. Now, I think this one's good, but it doesn't give you a damage up. It doesn't really serve any purpose. It lowers, is that what I'm thinking of? That's not combat mobility. What is this one right here? Oh, my bad. Combat mobility's, I forgot. That's a balanced overclock. This one is a little bit more oomph. And this is just good. I'm not going to put in S, but a little bit more oomph is just, it's just good. It's more damage, and I think it's spin up time as well. So your minigun just starts going better. Because to be honest, the minigun doesn't need a whole lot to be good. I think just about every overclock on it is awesome. What is this? This is venting. I think this is for scout. Some of these are probably the labels are messed up. I think this is aggressive venting. Oh god, I'm having to look through all these. Yeah. So this one is for Scout, and I think this one is S2. Aggressive venting used to be a what was it? It used to be a balanced overclock back in the day. Before I think season 3 is I think when they added it to a they changed it from balanced to clean. And I think it's S2. Because for Scout, it is by far one of the best crowd control overclocks you have. Now, Scout isn't built for crowd control at all. He's built for support and single target. That's how the majority of his builds work. But if you wanted to do crowd control, this is one of them that is necessary, to be honest. It's easy. And if you build it right, you get a speed bonus at the tip of your fingers whenever you want. The next one is AG mixture. This is for the sludge pump on Driller. This is just going to add a little bit more projectile velocity and I think a little bit of gravity to it so it falls. I think it's alright. I don't think it's the greatest, and I'm going to kind of leave it in D tier. It doesn't, you don't really, without any specific overclock, you know, one that changes the weapon a lot, you don't specifically use single shots all that much. You usually stick to your charge shots. So I think this is a D tier. The next one is Armor Break Module. So this one is for the Smart Rifle. What it does is it just adds more armor breaking potential to the weapon. And for me, I think there's a better overclock. I think this is a D tier. I don't think it's F because I don't think it's absolutely horrible. But there's a better version, which is Seeker Rounds. Seeker Rounds hit their target no matter what, regardless of what tier of armor they have or where they're at. So, armor breaking, why waste the ammo on a limited weapon to break armor, you know? The weapon is supposed to work your way around armor anyway. That's how it's built. To be able to curve your bullets around the enemy. So, armor breaking, What is this? Clean sweep? This is for the grenade launcher. This is extra area damage and radius, a small bit. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I honestly would put this in B tier. The grenade launcher is such a good crowd control weapon on its own. You don't have to add anything big to it to make it good. So I think this is a nice B tier. I don't think I labeled this properly. This is chain hit, but I don't remember what gun. Because there's this, which is also chain hit. There's two. Who has chain hit and why? Let's see. I have to remember the two chain hits. The Subata has a chain hit, and is it the Bulldog? I labeled these differently in the files, but they're both somewhat the same. Am I right about that? So, chain hit. I think so. I think I am right about that. I think it's for the Bulldog and the Subata. Which chain hit? So it depends. Chain hit for the Bulldog. The two icons are like a little bit different in sizes. So I'm gonna make the bigger one for the Bulldog. I think chain hit for the Bulldog is good, but it's not the greatest. So I'm just gonna put that in C2. And the Subata, it mostly focuses on the fact the weapon isn't the greatest. And to be honest, I'm going to put its chain hit in D2. Because yes, in theory, it could be really good. You know what? I'll keep it in C tier with the other chain hit. Because the reason I did that is the Subata has a couple of new upgrades that it's gotten over the years, and it's going to make chain hit a lot better, especially if you're using corrosive or flame to try and mix it up. So with chain hit, it kind of allows you to hit more targets. Okay, I don't think some of these. I think while uploading these, some of these didn't do the name properly, but most of it I know. Like this. This is drums. I think this is composite drums, if I'm right. This is the clean overclock for the Thunderhead, which I think is an A tier. I think it's an A tier. Because the Thunderhead doesn't have a lot of overclocks, let alone it doesn't have. Actually, I'll put it this way. This is the only overclock that adds ammo to the Thunderhead. Let me put it like that. This adds 110 rounds. And I think this is the one that gives 0.5 reload speed, which is also the only reload speed upgrade for the Thunderhead. So I think that's actually pretty good. What is this? Casings. Jeez, it's hard to tell if this one is for the GK2 or the Stubby, because I know both of them have something similar. There's a lot. Buddy. I can't remember. There's so many of these, and I did them all late at night. Casing wise. It's a fire rate up there. I think this one is for the GK2, and it's the clean overclock that adds a little bit more fire rate. Is what it is. Which for the GK2 isn't too bad, but I don't think it adds a whole lot to the weapon. Because there's overclocked feeding mechanism. Sorry, not that one. There's so many overclocks I have to try and remember. I think this one is probably going to be C tier. Because it's just edge to fire, it helps you pump out more damage. Eraser. This is for the smart rifle. It just adds more, I think it gives you a little bit more ammo. And helps your mag capacity too. Which isn't too bad. I think for clean, it kind of hits probably right on B. Let's see, energy rerouting. This is for the driller's EPC, experimental plasma charger. This adds charge speed and what else? I think it's charge speed and ammo is what this adds. Which honestly, I think that's an A tier. Not S tier, I think that's an A tier. Just because it kind of just buffs the gun. And if you like using thin containment field, it can be a lot better. No, this is gas recycling. This is scouts. Okay, so we're going to make a quick change. This one is the one for the Stubby for engineer that adds fire rate. I don't really care for it just because the Stubby alone has a lot of fire rate and has a lot of spread. So adding more fire rate to it isn't going to help. Gas recycling is the one for the GK2, which is pretty good because it's just fire rate. See, it cut off some of the words. I know what this one is, though. This is the small damage upgrade for the burst pistol, which I'm putting this in B tier. That one's for gunner. The burst pistol is a really strong pistol. Really strong secondary. Anything you add to it damage-wise is just going to make it that much better. And I think what is it? I think this is sealed drum walls or something like that. Adds like +1 or 2 damage, which is really strong. How are we doing so far? Ha! This one just says ammo. It cut off all of the wording to this one. I have no idea which one this is. What is it? I have all of these with the name perfectly marked out, but with this website, I think it knocked off some of the wording on it. Just ammo. We might have to go exploring. You might have to wait. You might have to wait. You can go right there. Oh, this is homebrew powder. I'm sorry, but all of the homebrew powders are going in F tier, dude. I don't care what you say. I'm not putting my luck in randomized damage. Give me this one, too. Where's the next one? There's like 5 of these in there. Look, homebrew powder can be good in technicality. The only problem with it is it randomizes your damage usually between 80% of its total damage to around 140 to 180. I think the 180 is for the Bulldog. In theory, it can be good, and with the right upgrades, most times that lower damage that you might get doesn't really become noticeable. But thing is it doesn't do much, and on the weapons that it's on, it's kind of subpar. Because these two, the homebrew powder for the Bulldog is a balanced overclock, I'm pretty sure, which is somewhere in the mix here. Yeah, right here. This one. This is for the Bulldog, and its percentages are a lot higher, which makes it a lot better. These two, because of the weapons they're on, the Subata and the GK2, it's kind of whatever. I don't really use them, and I don't really find a benefit to using them. Because there are better overclocks, and there are better clean overclocks for those weapons. So, maybe the Subata one could be a little bit higher up, just because the Subata is such a weapon that is kind of bad in every scenario, other than picking off maybe the weakest of range units. Like, I really don't like the Subata. Like, the only time I use the Subata is I use it for the full automatic, because full automatic is just really good. Now, until I remember what this one is, it's staying over here. It's ammo, but I don't remember for what. Compact shells. You're an interesting one. You go right here for now. I can't remember if this is for scout shotgun or engineer shotgun. I think they're labeled 2 different ones, so I'll come back to it. Efficiency tweaks. This is for the stubby. So this just adds a little bit more ammo to the stubby. No, I'm wrong. That's not that. We're gonna have to pull up the wiki on this too. I'm gonna put that bad boy in another tab. Hold on. Come here. Oh, I did it like that. We're gonna make it really small. We're gonna make this really small. Because I flat out sometimes just don't remember. I just don't remember them. So let's get this up. I have it set to the overclocks. Efficiency tweaks. I think this is on drillers. No, it's not. It's not on the equivalent wave. I thought it was. Then this might be on. This might be on the Shardus Factor. Yeah, fucking called it. Yeah, dude. I used to use this one forever. This is going in a solid B tier. So the reason I say that is I when the Star Destroyer first came out, I really didn't use any of the overclocks. I only used efficiency tweaks because, in my mind, it was good enough to the point where it didn't need a whole lot. And efficiency tweaks, all it does is give you a little bit more ammo and a little bit of charge capacity. That's so both sides are pretty good. So it's like 50 ammo and then 25 charge capacity, which is really good. This, okay, it says missiles. This is fragmentation missiles for the Hurricane. Adds a little bit more splash radius and a little bit more splash damage. I don't think it's too bad. I think it's a C tier. It's not something that's overwhelmingly good, but it's not subpar by any means. Ha! I know this one. This is overclock. It's going in F tier. Just like most things, Scout has a lot of mobility due to his grapple, and I don't think he needs help with it. I think most players just need to get better at playing him and better at where they position the grapple. Overclock lets you hover midair, and the reason I don't like it is because flying enemies and ranged enemies are going to hit you the easiest. Yes, you can get away from the ground enemies, but when you have a lot of ranged stuff, it's not good hovering midair because you're going to get targeted. Because once all the ground stuff can't hit you, all the air stuff is going to start hitting you instead. This one is hydrogen and ion additive. This is for the sludge bomb. I honestly use this for a really long time. This makes your direct hit damage higher and your direct hit DOT higher. Kind of just like the tier 5 upgrade. Honestly, I think this is B tier. Like I said, the AG mixture was one of the ones that increases projectile velocity, but doesn't do anything else. AG mixture, the reason I rate that higher is because it adds more damage to your, what do you call it? I'm trying to think here. Your direct hits. So that makes it a lot better. And I used to use it religiously for a long time just because hitting enemies with it, just that extra damage helps a lot. Especially the DOT. I can't tell with this one. Improved. This one's gonna have to go right here. We're gonna have to do some research because I can't. They have a lot of them that's the same, and I can't remember what this one is. Lightweight cases. This is lightweight cases. WB. Ah, the breach cutter. Fucking S tier. I know that's random, but the reason I put that one in S tier is because, one, it's the only overclock for the breach cutter that gives you ammo. And two, the breach cutter is so strong on its own, you don't need any benefits to it. All the overclocks for the breach cutter either lower the damage because it's so strong and then add a benefit, or just add some type of special effect. Lightweight cases adds just more ammo, meaning you can go more towards full damage or a wider beam. Overall, that's usually what I bring to Caretaker fights because the Breach Cutter is just really good against the Caretaker. It's one of the few weapons that can hit all 4 weak points in one shot. Granted, after they changed the main damage over to DPS, it fluctuates up and down, but I think that's really nice. Oh god, another ammo overclock that I don't remember. I'm gonna have to go into my file and like see what these are. Lighter tanks, I know what this one is for. This is the flamethrower. And honestly, I think that's a solid B tier. Flamethrower is just really good on its own, regardless of overclocks. Adding etched ammo is just even better. Liquid cooling system? Oh god, this is a That's a mix. Just because I don't know if that's for the plasma carbine or for the coolant wave. I think that one's for the coolant wave cooker. I don't remember. Another one where the name is like halfway cut off. Minimal clips. I think that's a solid B tier. And I'll put it down to C tier. Minimal clips does exactly what it says. It adds a little bit more to your clip capacity for Scouts M1000, which is pretty solid. It's not bad at all. I don't think it rates higher than some of the other ones because Scouts aggressive venting is just really strong. Oh, this is special powder, F tier. I know there's a ton of people who use this. I don't like it. I have never liked special powder. And the reason for it is because it's on Scout. It doesn't really... You're adding more mobility to a class that has the highest mobility. I don't think you need it. I don't think you at all need it. And especially for the shotgun, I think there's a lot better you could do. This one just says magazines, but this one's a reload speed increase. Man, I wish some of these came out a bit different. But it's really only the clean overclocks I can't really tell. Because a lot of these I'll know just based on the look of it. Reatomizer, F tier. The reason I put Reatomizer in F tier is because what it does is it spreads any effect on an enemy, any debuff, to any enemy behind it. The reason I don't like it is because it doesn't serve a good point to use. So if you're in a crowd and you're fighting a lot of stuff, with the coil gun, most times you want to apply an effect and you don't want to, what do you call it? You're not really spreading it. As an example, if you take Reatomizer, you use Electric Trail, the first shot does nothing. Because Reatomizer, in a group of enemies, your first shot does nothing because there's no effects on any enemies. And your next shot, by the time you do it, depending if you have charge speed or not, all you'll be doing is adding more electricity on enemies. If you had something on Gunner that has fire is really easy to spread, and Reatomizer doesn't help with that. The problem with Reatomizer is most of the effects that are hard to come across are still easy to spread. Like, the only one I might think that work well with is maybe Conductive Thermals or Mark for Death to spread their effects, but it's so situational, it's not good. And Reatomizer doesn't add anything to it. It doesn't add damage, trail radius, trail damage, or anything. It just spreads something that's already easy to spread. So, I don't think it's useful. Pack Rat, this is for the grenade launcher. I think this is a solid C2. Oh, well. No, honestly, I will swap it with lighter tanks. Grenade launcher is such a good crowd control weapon. Adding any amount of extra ammo to it is just really good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Roll control. F tier. It's a fucking pointless overclock. There's no reason for it to be in the game. Roll control has become the one set of overclocks that has never had a use in DRG. Because if you want something that does that, Spinning Death is better. Spinning Death is a million times better. Roll control adds no useful features to the weapon. Look, the bridge cutter shoots in a straight horizontal line. If you use roll control, that line said spins like a fan. The only scenario I can ever see that to be useful in is if you run stun on it. So then you have a chance of stunning everything in a tunnel. That's not how it works it's so situational and it doesn't work half the time. If you're in the open, doesn't work. Fighting stuff midair doesn't work well. The reason why roll control doesn't work is because the damage type on the breach cutter is a DPS base. Meaning the longer it's within an enemy, the more damage it does. Roll control spins, meaning most of your damage is going to be gone. This is a straight downgrade because it makes most of your line not hit the enemy, which is the opposite of what you want. Like for grunts, Bacteria, they're small enemies. If your line is not in them for a prolonged time, you're losing damage. The only thing I can say that makes it somewhat better is Plasma Trail. And that's just because it leaves it and it kind of helps it spread a bit bigger. But Plasma Trail stays within the inner sides of the line. So the outermost ones won't have Plasma Trail, only the inner one. So when you're shooting it, it's just going to make a really small circle forward of Plasma Trail. Which Plasma Trail on its own doesn't have a huge amount of damage, so still. This, I know what this one is. This is, I think, stronger plasma current. This is for the breach cutter. It's just a flat damage upgrade, and I think that's a C tier. Because, again, breach cutter is so powerful, you don't need a whole lot to it. Small damage up doesn't hurt. What is this? This just says mechanism. I can't remember what that one was. That's a scout one. I'm gonna scooch all these up here. Hey yo, Stunner. Stunner's for Engineer Shotgun. That's a solid B tier. Honestly, it's one of the few I'll say it's an A tier. Because it's the polar opposite of what Mini Shells is. Mini Shells gives a lot of ammo, but you completely lose stun, which is what makes it hard to use. Stunner's the opposite. Stunner lets you stun on any part of the body so long as you're actually able to hit it, and gives you bonus damage for doing so. So if you are damaging an already stunned target, your gun will do more damage. I think that's A tier. Super Focus Lens, I think this is the D tier. That's for the Coolant Wave Cooker. It makes you do more damage at closer range. And I think that's whatever, to be honest. I don't think it's really that good. The Coolant Wave Cooker isn't meant to do damage, it's meant to be a support weapon. And that's how it should be treated. Because no matter how you build it, it's a support weapon. Because it doesn't do enough damage on its own to ever really be that great. Sticky Additive is for the Flamethrower. That one's going to go in C tier. Because it just adds a bit more damage over time for the sticky feel. And adds a bit more duration to it. Pretty solid. Super Slim Rounds. Damn. I don't get why that one's wording stayed in, even though all the others, or like all these other ones, really did. Super Slim Rounds. What is that for? GK2? No. I think this one maybe. I think this one may be for the Stubby. I can't quite remember. Oh, I know what this one is. This one says shells. Ha! I so fucking know what this one is. This is splittering shells, isn't it? For the Thunderhead. No. Is it? Yeah. I so think that's it. It's just a little bit more radius and damage. I think that's a C2. Oh, hell yeah, the Specialist. So, the Specialist is for Scout's Crossbow. It increases the duration of any special bolt, so your second bolts, either pheromones, chemical, or taser. And increases the amount you have. I think this is 8. Because it is really good. And if you're trying to have a build that combos with your primary really well, or your teammates, and that specifically uses special bolts, solid. It's also the only other one that adds ammo for special bolts. You just say coolant. I gotta figure out what you are. Thin drum walls. This is for the minigun. This is the heating upgrade for the minigun. This is going in D tier. So this, I think, what is it? Reduces the amount of heat per shot, or it might just flat out increase cooling for the minigun. I don't think that's good, because the minigun has such a high amount of heat buildup before it overheats that adding that upgrade is pointless. Instead of trying to worry about overheating, you need to worry about managing your heat. With the minigun, you always want to manage heat between 50% and like 99%. You know, just where you're not overheating. Coils, I think that's for the coil gun. Well-oiled machine, I know what that's for. Well-oiled machine is actually the fire rate upgrade for the stubby, and D tier. I think it's whatever. Stubby isn't one of those weapons that has to have a lot of fire rate. If you wanted it, you would use EM Refire Booster. Now, we gotta figure out what these are. Liquid cooling system, I can't remember what that's for. I think that's for the plasma carbine. I think a lot of these actually might be for the... No. One more of these is for the plasma carbine, and I think it's the liquid cooling system. But there's also the magnetic cooling system. Cooling unit. It's a good mix trying to remember what is what. I'm trying to do it based off of memory, purely. One of these is for the shotgun too, for mag size, I think. This one, really clean overclocks. So the cold gun only has like 2 clean overclocks. One of them's reatomizer. I don't think I've gone over another one. I think this one's for the that one's for the coolant. No, the coil gun. This adds more trail duration and radius, I think, just by a small amount. We got any more cleans down here? No. We've almost gone through all of the clean overclocks. Only thing is we just got to remember what some of these are. This is testing my memory of the overclocks. Super slim rounds. That one's going over my head. Like, badly. And I think it's not the Zukov. The Zukov has 1 clean overclock. And everything else is unbalanced or balanced. I think. No, it's not the Zukov. That one is. This one is. There's a reload upgrade on the fucking Zukovs, isn't there? Ah, God, I can't remember. This one's improved thermal efficiency, isn't it? So hard to tell. This is magnetic cooling unit, which I don't remember what that is. Liquid cooling system. Compact shells. This is for Scout shotgun. Because Engineer shotgun doesn't have an ammo upgrade. No, it does. It has a clean one. This one's for Engineer. I think that's a D tier. D tier. It's hard to tell. This one This one is shaped shells, and I think that one is for scout, which just adds more a higher pellet count, which is honestly pretty solid, just because more pellets equals more damage. This one's for the Zukovs. It's a reload and mag size upgrade, I think. God, what is super slim rounds to? I have a feeling it's the stubby, but I think I have to check. Been trying to test my knowledge on it, but right here. Ha! Fucking called it. It is D tier. I don't use super slim rounds. The mag size on the stubby is really good. And if you really wanted more, you just go the tier 5 upgrade, because that gives you 20. Now, I don't remember what magnetic cooling is. And I have a feeling... Magnetic cooling. Reatomizer. Ultramagnetic coils. I already did that one. So it's not the coil gun. I think... See, liquid cooling system. I know aggressive venting. Thermal liquid coolant. I already did it because I remembered which one that was. Damn, this one's gonna be rough. Liquid cooling. Liquid cooling system might be for driller. Because it might be just for the... Yeah, it is. It's for this. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's really that good either. So we know that one. There's still a coolant one. That one actually might, believe it or not, be for the cryo cannon. Improved thermal efficiency. Have I already done that one? No, that's this one right here. I think that one's... Cryo cannon's good on its own. I think that one's C tier. It lets you be able to fire longer before having to wait, and then I think it improves how fast it does so. Now, God forbid what magnetic cooling is, too. Magnetic. It's not going to be gunner. That's liquid cooling. Damn. Magnetic cooling. Wouldn't be for this, would it? Reatomizer. Ultramagnetic coils. No. Wow, what is this one? I can't remember. This one's stumping me. It wouldn't be for the minigun, would it? We already did that. Binge on walls, we already did that. Yeah, it's not for this. That one might be for the plasma charger. It is. This is gonna be tier. The reason I say that is because it can help out with infotainment field, and it can help out just with doing normal shots. Now it leaves these, and of course there's another coolant one. Ammo wise, that one might be. GK2 doesn't just get a normal ammo upgrade. Let's take a look at the Zukovs real quick. It's only the clean overclocks that stump me so much because I just don't use them all that often. There's not a lot of deposit drums, splitter and shells. Yeah, this one, that's the Thunderhead setup. I want to go all the way down and I want to look at the Zukovs. Minimal clips, I already knew. Hey, yo, wait, hold on. Minimal clips is for the fucking... Where did I put it? Is it 2? I thought minimal clips was for the... Huh. Forgot about that. I don't ever use that one either, just because mag size of the Zukovs is actually fine with me. Don't worry, once we get past this, we'll mostly just be, I'll be able to do all these just off the top of my head. That is like playing trivia. Mag size related. It's not gonna be on Scout. Scout doesn't have any upgrades like that. No, we already did composite casings. That owner has chain head. Yeah, right here. Overtuned feeding mechanism. I don't think I've done that one yet. No, that's what this one is. It's a fire rate upgrade for the Hurricane. I think that's B tier. Just because the Hurricane doesn't have a whole lot of fire rate, and it does kind of help out a bit. I still gotta look for a fire rate upgrade as well. Man, talking about having a lot. This one's lightweight magazines. I think that one's honestly pretty good for the engineer shotgun. It's just a little bit more ammo. So Subata only has 2 clean overclocks. Quick fire. That happens to be on the GK2. There is an ammo upgrade on this. This one's for the this is for compact mags. To be honest, this is kind of whatever. I don't think it's useless though. It's gonna go in D tier. I specifically don't use it that much because the GK2 honestly has a lot of ammo. Oh, this also adds a little bit less recoil with the gun too. I don't remember what this one is. The wording on it's a little bit smaller. Now I know it says quick play. Thank you. And one of these other ones just says coolant. I don't even know, there's... Have I done thermal liquid cooling? That's what this one is. This is for the plasma carbine. I would say this is useless. The reason I say so is because, yeah, the plasma carbine doesn't have a lot of heat it can build up before overheating. But unlike the minigun, its overheat doesn't have a long timer on it. The minigun, you're down for 5, 6, 7 seconds straight, you know, without a gun. Plasma carbine, your overheat timer is like 1 or 2 seconds. It's not even that bad. Now this one, it's quick fire, but I don't remember what that goes on. Wait a minute. Ha! It's for the fucking crossbow. What's the stats on it? What's it do? Reload time and projectile velocity. I think that's actually pretty good. I'm not going to rate it highly because it's one of those things like once you learn the projectile speed of the crossbow, you can kind of, you know, get used to it. But good, this is a check mark. All of the clean overclocks, this is what we're looking at. This is what I rate all of the clean overclocks. Now, I know that, what do you call it? There's only 2 on S tier. But it's because most of these are just meant to be good. Except for these are shit. Fuck these ones. But, let me know how the music is, if it's too loud. I have a headset on and it's desktop audio, so the audio for me is going to be a lot higher. So, but I don't know how it is for you guys. If it's too quiet, too loud. Because I've got, like, 5 different audio settings for just the music alone. But this leaves us with just unbalanced and clean overclocks. I shouldn't have a problem knowing any of these. Fuck, I can already tell one's combat mobility is right here. What the fuck is this one? Sorry, I'm pointing my finger. I don't know what this one is. It's fucking speed system. I have no idea what that one is. But most of these I'll know. But so far, thanks so much for anyone who showed up. I know this is in the just chatting, and I know like 90% of the just chatting community doesn't know shit about DRG. So, this is your intro to it. Welcome to it. But yeah. I'll be ranking the other ones here in a moment. Let me move my mic out of the way a little bit more. Because we're big chilling. We ain't doing too much. Look how many we have. This is 160 overclocks, by the way, in total. Like, it's a lot of overclocks. Ugh. Most classes kind of have, or all of the classes kind of have around the same amount of overclocks with a few number difference. Now, God forbid for when I have to go through here, and I'll do, I'll probably do class-specific ones. But, I'll make this a live event at some point, and I'll let you guys kind of compare them together on your own. Yeah, all of these, for the most part, I know. Like, even though this one says chamber, this is super cooling chamber. Thermal feedback loop is right here. Shrink rounds, triple volley. That's Fat Boy. Yeah, let's just take a short break. We're in no big rush to get this done. Everyone take a small smoke break. My stupid fan's that way, like across the room blowing towards me, so it's like a little hard. Hope everyone's day's been good so far. We're almost to the goal of 80 followers. I just realized that. Now, while we're just chilling, I'll kind of start going through these. One by one. So, one of the first ones is AI Stability Engine, and this one's just going to be S tier. Now, the reason why it's S tier is so simple. That overclock lowers your damage by like 1 or 2 points in the exchange of a incredible amount of weak point damage, lowers your incredibly lowers your recoil and spread, so it makes you pinpoint accurate. And the only negative I think is just fire rate and a little bit of lower damage output, which is fine because that changes you. Well, the reason why that's so perfect is a lot of people don't understand about Scout is you're Scout. You have the most mobility. You're the one class that should specifically be only hitting weak points. I don't care what your build is as Scout. You have enough mobility to be hitting weak points only. That's what every Scout should focus on, is specifically hitting weak points. If you're just hitting the body to hit the body, you're wasting ammo. Because Scout is the class that can do a lot of damage in every scenario, but you're more limited on ammo than everyone else. What's this? I don't remember what this one is. That, and it doesn't help, my vision's ever so slightly blurry. I just woke up and my eyes are having a hard time focusing. If I could make it bigger, that helps so much. I just can't see it. This one is Big Bertha. And the reason why that, I think this is a solid, I think that's a solid S tier. Dang. Oh, I gotta relight this. And it just ashed right on there. Oh, bro. That's, I'm like, whatever. It'll be fine. So the reason why Big Bertha, I think, is S tier is not even just because it's a huge damage increase. It's because it lowers the spread of the Thunderhead. That's why. My problem with the Thunderhead it is an incredibly inaccurate piece of weapon. I'm not going to call it a piece of shit. The Thunderhead's really good, but long range capability, you rely on your splash damage too much because the accuracy of the Thunderhead is horrible. It's really good for hitting big enemies because duh. But yeah, But Big Bertha adds a lot more damage, adds accuracy at the cost of, I think, 110 rounds and 55 mag capacity. So, which is a pretty big hit, but that's together. It also lowers your fire rate. That seems like a pretty big hit, but it's really strong. Oh, hell yeah. Automatic fire. I think this is an A tier for sure. It makes the Subata fully automatic. You can obviously think of what the downsides are of it. Increased recoil and spread. Duh. You're making a handheld pistol into full automatic. But that's really nice. I use that with the cryo cannon because you can freeze a group of enemies and just lay into them. You're already within the range that full automatic, you don't have to worry about spread or recoil. You just lay into them. You're melee range most times. So I think it's really good. You use it with blow through, by the way. With the cryo cannon, yeah, you can shred through crowds because you'll hit one and hit the next. So that doubles the amount of damage you're doing in total with the Subata. Just because Subata doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Let's see. So this one is... Okay. I'm just putting that temporarily there. This is Blistering Necrosis. I myself have not played too much around with it. It has some very niche things. Because it can create a weak point on enemies. Which is really good against certain enemies like the Oppressor, where the only weak point is on the axe. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't use it much. I don't have an opinion on it. I've been told it can be good. I haven't... No one ever uses this. It has such a niche playstyle around it. I don't know. That, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't work on all enemies. I don't think it works on the Caretaker. And I don't know if it works on robots, to be honest. So it's like weird, and I don't know how it interacts with the rock pops. Like this came out in season 1 type shit. So I really don't know how good it is. So I'm gonna add another. We're gonna add another row below. I'm gonna do white. And this one's just going to be a fucking question mark. Blistering Necrosis is going to go in it. Because to be honest, I can't give an opinion about it. I don't use it. Like, I'm not going to make rash comments about it because I don't use it. So I'm not going to rate it. Why is F white now? I meant for this to be white. I don't remember what F was. Alright, we're going with it. Oh, hell yeah. Look, this is Burning Hell. Fucking Kara would be proud. I don't give a shit what anyone says. It's one of the best overclocks in the game. This is for the minigun. So what it does is, while firing, there will be a cone spread-like shape of fire in front of you. Right there. And so, Burning Hell, practically, you have a fucking flamethrower at the tip of your fingers. It is the most ammo efficient crowd control thing in the game, because you don't have to fire but 1 or 2 sets of bullets to catch an entire crowd on fire. And it gives a pretty unique playstyle too if you choose to play it with aggressive venting, because Burning Hell's only negative is it increases how fast your minigun overheats by 50%. Which is not a negative in my opinion. That is a benefit. Look, I use this 24/7. I'm gonna nerd out about it. What do you call it? With it overheating faster, benefits the gun. The reason I say that is because on tier 5, there are 2 upgrades you can choose from: hot bullets or aggressive venting. Hot bullets will ignite your bullets, making enemies also ignite in the process. Basically making it so we have long range fire. When you combine that with Burning Hell, you have fire in front of you, you have fire long range. You're fucking shredding everything. So, if you also play it with aggressive venting, you can proc aggressive venting really quickly. Now, aggressive venting for Gunner, I'm pretty sure has a 10-meter radius around you. So what it does is once you overheat, it'll explode in fire and fear. So it will ignite everything around you and fear almost any enemy around you. So practically, if you think of it, it is like a temporary shield. So like, this doesn't, and so the aggressive venting the aggressive venting upgrade doesn't come in handy up until like Hazard 5 in my opinion. Because most times when you're using Burning Hell on anything lower than Hazard 5, it's going to shred everything too quickly. You feel me? And the only benefit on lower difficulties for aggressive venting is aggressive venting also lowers your overheat time in like half. Because you dump most of the heat instantly. So your overheat timer is actually lower. The reason I don't say it makes much of a play in lower difficulties is because most things are going to be dead by the time you overheat. But in Hazard 5 and above, it is the perfect overclock for making, perfect upgrade for making space. Because not only are you going to be able to deal with the crowd, if you get surrounded, let them keep getting closer. You can hit them all and fear them all. You can make space really quickly. But that comes into really controlling your heat. So that's another one of the things you have to like eventually learn with the minigun is heat management. And like very specific heat management. Because like when I got really good at aggressive venting, I always teetered on the edge of overheating. Always. And I always kept it like that. That's so like if you ever do get surrounded, you can instantly have a solution for it without having to use a shield. But anywho, I've been nerding out about that one overclock. It's my favorite overclock in the game. I don't care. It's the reason I made Gunner born. Oh, I know what this is. This is rewiring module. I think that's what that is. I don't know if that's the icon for it though. This is like playing a game of actually seeing all of the overclocks and remembering what they are. You. Homebrew? This is Jet Fuel Homebrew. So, I think Jet Fuel Homebrew is, honestly, an A. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna put it in B tier. It is a really good overclock. You exchange splash damage for single target damage. Am I right about that? I think I'm right about that. I'm pretty sure it lowers your... Going off memory here. Pretty sure it lowers your splash radius. And actually, no. I don't want to say the wrong thing here. I can't remember. I think it, Hey, Bismore, what's up, man? Yes, bro, you feel me. Fucking Special Powder sucks. It's why it's an F tier. I don't like it. But, I don't remember the exact things of Jet Fuel Homebrew. It's a really good overclock. I just don't use it that much because there's another one that's just really good. So, increases direct damage, hella increases velocity, and they start at max speed. The negative is, yeah, area damage, area radius, less mag size, less ammo. Jesus, more to it than I thought it was. Ignore that though. Really good for single target, and if you take the weak point upgrade too on it, the 50% bonus weak point damage, you do a fuck ton of damage. It's just really reliable. You gotta bring a secondary though that can deal with crowd control because that overclock will not. I can't read what this one is. Like, I physically can't see it. Well, I know what it is. It's one of my favorites. It's bullet hell. So, bullet hell, okay. A lot of people avoid this overclock. It's a really fucking good overclock because what a lot of people assume, like most of the ricochet overclocks, is that most people assume that this one only ricochets when you hit a surface. That's not right. It ricochets no matter what. So regardless if you hit a surface or an enemy, it will ricochet into another enemy, doubling your damage. So that's why this is really good, because it's a different form of crowd control for gunner. It's really good in crowd control, and if you take blow through, it will help with the hitting multiple enemies. And if you take hot bullets with it, you'll be catching an entire horde on fire. Instead of working one enemy at a time, you work with multiple enemies at a time with blow through, so you're able to dish out more fire. Now, granted, it comes with the negative, the only negative of like 400% more spread or something. You counter that by taking the accuracy upgrade on tier 1. That's it. All of the tier 1 upgrades on the minigun don't matter. They're good, but you don't need them on the minigun. Like, you don't need more accuracy all the time, but you can take it. You don't need the fire rate upgrade all the time, but you can take it. And you don't need the cooling upgrade all the time because it's a minigun. Yeah, you get me. Like, salvo module is way better. What's the build with? What did you build around? By the way, there's like some hellish stream delay. Yeah, it's probably because of the music. I'm not running anything but a browser and with Streamlabs. But it's probably a slower delay because this is capturing my entire screen, and I don't normally do it like that one. I usually only capture the window. Granted, there's also 160 overclocks we're looking at of 160 different files, because all of these are different files. None of them, they're not just smushed. So granted, that might be what's causing it. Anywho, I don't remember what this one is. I can hardly read it. This is rounds. I can't. That one will come to me once I look at it further. I can't read that one either. Sorry, the browser fucked with this. Cluster charges, I don't know how I feel about cluster charges. I'm not gonna make an opinion on cluster charges. I'm not. I've used it some. Haven't gotten good at it. Because I know you're able to hit the enemy and still detonate the clusters, meaning you practically like triple your damage output. I don't have an opinion around it because I haven't gotten good at playing with it yet. Bouncy bullets or... See, I'm pretty sure... So the one for the plasma carbine is impact deflection is the name of it. That's why I don't think that's what that is. I can't remember what that is. Sorry, I'm pointing at my screen like y'all can see my finger. Let's go to an interesting one and talk about it. So another interesting one is electric focus shot. This is a kind of underrated overclock. But, I don't know. The M1000 doesn't have a lot of overclocks. That's the problem with it. The M1000 needs more overclocks. And, like, most of them are focused around the charge shots, too. So, electric focusing reduces your charge shot damage by 25%. And, adds the ability to electrify the enemies you hit. So that's it. That's the only negative. So, and which really isn't that bad because there's a upgrade to make your to increase your charge damage again. So it kind of evens itself out. And if you take blow through with it and armor breaking, you're able to electrify guaranteed 3 targets. It kind of plays pretty well with any build that synergizes with electricity, because it has one of the strongest electricity effects. Like, it lasts the longest out of most of the DOT effects for it. So it can play pretty well, but it's also very build focused. So I don't think I'm not gonna rate it too high. Actually, I think it's I'm not gonna say it's a C, because I have a really good working build with it. It works well. I think the only weakness, really there isn't one if you play with gas recycling. Oh hell yeah, we're so talking about gamma contamination. I know this one just by the look of it. So, I don't know how to rate this one, but I think it's an A tier. I don't think it's an S, and I don't think it's Carl would be proud. The reason I don't think so is because it's really good. Practically all it does is it gives you a chance to irradiate enemies at the cost of, like, I don't know, a little bit of ammo and how fast it overheats. But the reason why that's so good is because it adds a new type of DOT that's exclusive to the coolant wave cooker. I don't like the coolant wave cooker for pure damaging moments, but on top of the coolant wave cooker's damage, radiation damage has a really high tick rate, and it's pretty solid. If you take it with the wide beam, you can apply that to an entire crowd. Use that with any other build that has DOT mixed in. I specifically use it with the sludge bomb because it works best with it, but it can be really strong. Oh, I know what this is. This is Embedded Detonators. We're not even going to talk about Embedded Deads, bro. Embedded Deads is just... Jesus. I think Carl would be proud as a... I ain't gonna lie. I think Carl would be proud as just a good one for it. Just because it doesn't struggle in anything. Single target, duh. Easy. Crowd control, you can tap fire, you can use blow through, you can use multiple things. If you play it well, it deals with everything. Because with blow through, it can hit 2 targets. That's your crowd control. Granted, it knocks your ammo by 100, so eh. But if you just watch your fire and control your shots, easy. So I think that's just overall, it's good. It's a no-brainer overclock. Plastic Catalyst. So, I'm not going to have an opinion about this one. This one's going to stay in the question mark one. Kind of think for yourselves there. Just because it doesn't match my playstyle whatsoever. So, but I can't make an opinion on it because it just doesn't match the way I play. But I know it's stupidly good. I've seen it in action. I've watched a lot of people use it. It does, like, I think, I don't know what the exact damage is, but it looks like it does around 300-400 damage easily. And I think someone said it also can ignite enemies on fire. Pretty solid. Also, why do we start with the... no one was paying attention, was they? I straight up handpicked Burning Hell and then said, fuck the balance overclocks, skip to unstable. I was not paying attention on that. I just now, like, realized I, like, handpicked that, Burning Hell up there, dude. Okay. I mean, at this point, we might as well go with it. Oh, hell yeah. I know what this one is. This is Shield Battery Booster. Let me take a drink. Hold Uh, I honestly think this is probably one of the best overclocks for Scout. Only reason I'm not, I'm gonna put it in F's. Only reason I'm not putting it all the way up here is because it does take a little bit to learn the playstyle around it. Granted, I was using this back before the buff to it, and it was still just as good. It's just, it's so good. I think the only reason I don't rate it higher is just because you have to learn how to play with it. Because if you take any damage whatsoever, you lose your damage and velocity benefits. So, you know what? Let's go take a gander at it. I know just about the exact stats. Because you gain a passive... So I'm pretty sure you gain a... There's 2 portions of it. So, while at full shields, you gain an increased damage and velocity. The second and always active passive is it increases ammo and fire rate permanently as well. That's what I think they are. And the negative is obviously if you overheat the weapon, it collapses your shield. And the other negative is it generates more heat. So I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. I've been using it a lot recently just because it's good. So, increase damage, projectile speed while shields are full, yeah. +1 fire rate, 100 more ammo, and oh, I forgot the new benefit. That was the old one. It god damn! It reduces your shield regeneration delay by 5 seconds, dog. That's a lot of time. So if you take this with the armor upgrade that also reduces shield delay by 1, your shields literally recharge after you take damage after 1 second. After 1 second you've taken damage, you're instantly recharging your shields. It takes 1 second. Now, you could also use, since it goes so low, you could also use the other one where it regenerates your shields like 50% faster, or sorry, I think it's 100% faster. If you use that, it'll help you get back to max quicker. So, but it kind of depends on which one you want. But that also lets you be more flexible on how you use your shield. You know, you can take more risky jumps on getting resources and shit. And you won't take that much fall damage because you're always shielded when you can do it back to back without having to wait. So I think that's S tier. Oh yeah, we're talking about trank rounds. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good overclock. The Subata has become a very weird support weapon. It is no longer a stand-on-its-own weapon. That's what they've taken from it. Because apparently they want, like, almost all of Driller's secondaries to kind of be support weapons. And that's how they've started to treat the Subata. Tranquilizing rounds, I don't think it plays into Driller. That's why I'm giving it an F. I don't think it plays into Driller whatsoever. Just because... like, most times enemies are already going to be dead, or you can outmaneuver them. The only kind of scenario I see it kind of being good in is just flat out stopping some annoying enemies. Maybe like the menaces, or if you've got eyes on the stingtails, or septic spreaders. Stuff like that, but I don't see it as overwhelmingly good. There's better cases of stun for Driller, to be honest. Oh god damn it. Okay, this is Sludge Blast. I saw this and this. This is Salvo, this is Sludge Blast. We're going to talk about salvo because we mentioned it earlier. So we're also going to pull it up here in a second too. You know, or pulling it up instead because I want the exact stats. So I'm also curious on what the percentages are for each rocket if it so happens to tell me. It's also a learning moment for me because I don't study this shit in depth. I just have a lot of I don't do this stuff. I don't look at the exact stats. I just follow the in-game stats, and I just have a lot of experience with them. So just naturally, you find out what plays well. Oh Jesus! So it doesn't give me. So okay. So it doesn't give me an exact number of what the damage bonus is increasing. I'll lay it out like this. So what salvo module does is it kind of makes your hurricane into a shotgun. It adds the ability to hold the trigger or hold click, and as you do that, you will charge up to 9 rockets. Each rocket charged up increases your damage further. So basically, you're making yourself a fucking shotgun. Or a really good crowd control at range. So, you know, when you see across the cave and you see a massive group of enemies, it's really hard to hit all of them, right? With this, if you charge up and you see a huge group of enemies, you can hit all of them in a square pattern. Because it shoots, you're looking at the hurricane when you're looking at the gun. The pattern it will shoot is the pattern the rockets are normally sitting in. It'll just slowly spread out. So it's a really predictable pattern as well for crowd control. And it's really good in single target because it increases your damage. You take this with the 50% weak point damage you can get on tier 4, and it will literally make you take like a third to half a Praetorian's health, depending on the difficulty, in just one burst. So it's really good in crowd control and single target. So I think it fits every role pretty well. Now, the only negative is you don't have guiding system online. Quote unquote. So you can't guide the rockets you charge up. But if you tap fire, you can guide the single rockets you shoot at. So you don't really lose the guiding system, you only lose it for like automatic fire. Like you can't just instantly control. You just have to tap fire. So honestly, I think this is one that fits into Carl will be proud because it fits every role and there's not a really hard gameplay mechanic to learn. Because there's no negative to the overclock. You don't lose anything. So long as you learn to play without guiding. And which, for me, I don't really like the guiding system. I don't care for it. Because I don't like having to consistently keep my cursor on the enemy. So, it's also another reason I don't really like the plasma burster missiles. I still have no idea which one this one is. What is all of the... Excuse me, I'm gonna get really close to the camera. I can't read that. Ah! It's Bakken points. God forbid. Thank God I'm playing this on a laptop and not like a TV. I would not be able to see that on a TV. It's Bakken points. Yeah, it's fucking right this one. It's going up in A tier. So, I definitely don't rate it higher than A tier. Because obviously it can't deal with single targets. And it does kind of struggle once you start getting up to when you start having a lot of guards and really big enemies coming out. But it is a really good crowd control weapon because it makes your normal bolts ricochet into other enemies. That's really strong. And if you take magnetic shafts on tier 5, it will do bonus damage to any enemy electrocuted or within an electrical field. Which means if you use it within an IFG, not only are you getting the bonus damage from that upgrade, you're getting the bonus damage from the IFG. So almost every grunt will instantly die within that field. Guards might survive on a tiny bit of HP depending if you take more damage or ammo, depending on how you want to do your build. If you take the more damage, I'm pretty sure it usually one-shots them. If you take the more ammo, I think you'll leave on like a speck of HP. Or at least enough to where you can power attack them. Fat Boy. So I'm putting Fat Boy in C tier. I think it's good, honestly. I don't think it's like horrible. But the biggest downside is the base grenade launcher can do better than it. And that's just due to the fact that the base grenade launcher has more ammo. You can do more without an overclock than you could with Fat Boy. Now granted, I think Fat Boy has utility to it because it destroys terrain. So on some missions or in some scenarios, it does help out. Especially when you're just on your own and something's on the fucking ceiling you can't get, shoot it with a nuke. You can knock it down. But it doesn't, like, it's dangerous. I think that's the only negative. I think there's something with pressure. I can't remember. Let's go take a look. I don't really use it. I've never really cared for swapping my... Granted, you still have a good amount of freezing power. It knocks your freezing power down a lot. So it doubles your damage, and it gives you 100% increased damage as kinetic damage to frozen targets. So an increase of 100% is double damage. So it doubles everything. You lose 3 freezing power, you lose a bit of ammo, and your pressure drop rates increase. So you'll kind of overheat it really quickly. So I'm not going to rate that one because I know it's good. I just don't use it. Like, I don't really... well, I can rate it. I've used it enough. I honestly think it's a B tier. The reason I say it's a B tier because it's also something you have to learn how to play around. So I think it's something that has a really harsh learning curve. Because it's different from just, like, freezing enemies flat out. You could, if you take cold radiance, you could actually increase the total freeze power if you're close enough. I put it in B2. Let me get some of this. Where I put Fat Boy again? I'm knocking Fat Boy down to C2. God, yeah, you can see 160 files. There's 160 in total. Let's see. Oh, neurotoxin payload. Oh, microconductors. Yeah, this one was recently updated. Me personally, where did I put... I didn't rate that one, but this is still Turret Arc, and I used to use Turret Arc. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I think with the changes to it, it has made it an extremely powerful weapon. It doesn't match my playstyle, so I'm not giving it higher by me. but it matches the playstyle really well. Okay, why'd the screen go black? Hold up. Technical difficulties here. Okay, no, we're fine. This is electric mindless. So this is for the burst pistol. It's kind of like if you've ever used mine layer system, or these ones are fast activating electric mines through the enemy and still hit that wall. So it is pretty good, but it comes with definitely a huge playstyle change, especially with your aiming, because you have to change the way you aim. So you're not looking to just hit the enemy, you're looking to hit the terrain behind them or right below them, so you can still, you know, do the damage to the enemy you're focusing on. But I do think it's B tier. How many of those have buster charges? Anything else that's reload base? I don't think so. No, this one over here is Scorching Tide. Load. So that weapon has changed so much over the years, and it's still not. It's like it doesn't feel a standalone weapon. Let's see negatives that come from it. Okay. The next one's Smart Trigger. I've played with it some, like maybe a. Oh, thank you. I've never had one of those before. And what's up, Katie? Oh, yeah. And discharge. I'm not going to rank mortar rounds S, or even Carl would be proud. I honestly think it's a solid B tier. It changes. It takes away all dark damage and a huge radius, which is really strong. And the negatives are, it shoots a bigger projectile than ones that reduce mag size, reduces it by 55. This one knocks it all the way down to 35. So you go from 110 down to 35 mag capacity. But with it being specifically area damage, you ignore all armor. Because any type of splash damage ignores armor. Doesn't matter how small or how big, it goes through armor. So no matter what, your damage is guaranteed. So there's never a reduction in your damage. Kinetic shot. It will damage the armor, but it won't damage the... Ooh, let's talk Sludge Blast. It's like my news is itching. What's another star icon? Makes your focus shot damage deal 0 damage. And the only way to do Mark for Death is focus shot. So it makes the M1000 more of a support weapon. Granted, you still can shoot single shots that do a lot of damage too, because his like base damage is 55. But it comes with a significant playstyle change and a significant, not significant, but some other negatives. So I think it's really cool because there's so many playstyles you can do, but once you start using all of them, I feel like you have less options, so to say. Now let's talk about some type of count. I don't think this is Carl would be proud, but I think this is easily at no those are, and that's it. That's explosive reload. That's on an opinion on. An opinion on. I can't Prison 5, it's a one-shot kill for grunts. I can't Prison 5, it's a one-shot kill for grunts. Or it may be a two-grunts. Or it may be a two-shot kill. Which is really good and can be good. That fits into that category really well. But with that, that gives that gives you a horizontal line and a little bit vertical. But I don't think I can have an opinion on it. I don't use it and I don't enjoy using it. So I think it's up to y'all. The polar fucking opposite. The polar fucking opposite. And I think this is S tier. Actually, yeah. I think it's S tier. It does. Because it doesn't lower